The Freedom, Dreaming, and Ethnic Studies project is an opportunity for youth to think critically about the function of race and ethnicity in society and particularly in their social studies classrooms. We encourage you to do this by engaging deeply with local histories, thinking about the history of San Francisco and California. And we also want them to reflect on their both past and present and how they relate to one another, both as their structural positioning and then their interactions with the local community as well. One of the things that we think that we're really most excited about with our young people is being able to think about the ways that they can relate to one another and be in relationship with one another as they're trying to build a future that's dedicated towards justice, equity, and love, most importantly.
And a part of this project that is really unique is the fact that it's in middle school classrooms. So we got to work with educators across the city in different parts of the city that were working with 8th grade students to build the foundational concepts they would get at the 9th grade level, given that it's now a statewide requirement to receive ethnic studies, and do that earlier on. So working with young people directly, working with educators consistently, and also being able to work with district leaders who were supportive of our project made this happen. So one thing that we really got to see were the pedagogical rituals of purpose in our middle school classrooms, and that is the soul-stirring cultivation of knowledge. So some examples that we were able to witness through observations in one of our middle school classrooms was how the teacher made sure that the space was completely inviting for each and every one of her students. The way she greeted students, the setup of the space allowed for soft lighting and music and connecting through literature and hearing from students what they were interested in, which then was applied in different forms throughout the classroom, making it a completely inviting space that recognized all of the students' identities, commitments, and their communities in a way that we don't really get to see in a lot of our spaces, especially considering my background in being a former classroom teacher.
Yeah, I think I would turn to the young people, right? And to really think about their brilliance, not only as students and as scholars. I think ethnic studies invited them to take more seriously the content of social studies. But I'm also really interested in the ways that they are growing as intellectuals, the way that they're growing as theorists. And probably most important and relevant to my work is how they're growing as critical public historians. I think the young people are realizing that their lives and their families' histories are also a part of a broader continuum of history in their classrooms and beyond. And so being able to see them do oral history projects and learn about their family's relationship to San Francisco's and some of the ways that the policies here in San Francisco have structured their experience, both in the city and in the classroom, has been a really insightful thing to be able to see young people grow and not only be consumers of knowledge, but producers of history and ethnic studies itself.
Some key takeaways were, one, we really just appreciated being able to apply the concept that we've learned in this program into the project directly. And that started with young people. We really were hearing from them throughout the project, week-to-week basis, given the journaling that they did, the reflections that they did, that they gave, and of course, the post discussions that we were able to have with young people, to hear directly from them feedback about the project, ideas and ways that it could be better, knowing and seeing how empowered they were to be able to do this work at a level when often adults don't listen to young people, specifically at the middle school age. So that part was really enlightening, and letting students recognize that we are working in a space that really wants to hear from them and apply what they're teaching us is the most foundational part.
One of the things I want to ruminate on is what ethnic studies can look like at a district and school level. Really thinking critically around how school leaders can position ethnic studies to have a supportive ecosystem. So we're doing work in a particular classroom, but really trying to think critically around what would that look like at a district-wide level. In San Francisco, we know is the home of ethnic studies. And so continuing to invest in that project is really important in this moment where work around race and ethnicity is experiencing a renewed sense of vulnerability. And so thinking about what professional development, what curricular materials and resources are there, And what structures are being provided to teachers? So how can we create opportunities for teachers to interact with one another? One of the things that we've seen in the project is that the teachers no longer feel isolated in doing this work, and being able to have a community of support for themselves and their young people and with community members is really, really important to being able to carry this forth. We've been able to see that parents get invested and involved when we involve young people in critical ethnic studies, but also really trying to think about the ways that the district can continue to double down on that initiative.
One thing that we were also recognizing is because of the community that we've built and everything we've contributed, we've seen there be an interest in a longer term relationship that continues beyond the years that we were working on this project. So we're building on things together with the educators that has become longer lasting than we expected, and that's just really beautiful to see.